There we go. All right. Melissa, are you ready? I'd like to call the meeting to order of the Board of Public Utilities for December 4th, well, never today. Today's December 4th meeting, yes. All right, will you please stand? You pledge allegiance.
Please join me in saluting our flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heads. Lord, we just give you all glory today. We thank you that you oversee all the happening over the kings of the earth and over our world. We look to you for your continued headship over all we do here in this community and in our personal life. And we look to you for covering us as we go through the Christmas season. Make our family be safe and focus on family during this wonderful time. Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Brian and Renee. Members of the public wishing to comment on any item not appearing on the agenda may address the board at this time. State law prevents the board from acting on any matter not on the agenda. However, your comments may be referred to staff for follow-up. This is also the time for the public to comment on items listed under the consent calendar or to request an item from the consent calendar to be pulled for discussion purposes. Comments related to the public hearing and general business items will be heard at time those items are discussed. In fairness to all who wish to speak, public comment is limited to the total time of 15 minutes, with each speaker allowed 3 minutes, unless otherwise extended by the board. Please begin with your comments by stating your name and providing your city of residence. Do we have any public comment? Thank you. Communications are submitted to the city manager's office 10 days prior to the board meeting to be considered for this section of the agenda. No action will be taken on matters listed under communications. However, the board may direct staff to schedule issues raised during communications for a future agenda. Do we have any communications? Thank you. Moving on to the consent calendar. All matters listed under the consent calendar are considered by the board to be routine and will be enacted in one motion without discussion. If discussion is desired, then an item may be removed and considered separately. We have 3 items. Do we need anyone pulled? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
We have a first and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Moving on to general business. Comments related to general business items are limited to 3 minutes per speaker for a maximum of 30 minutes per item unless otherwise extended by the board. First item is item 6.1, right? And we have our speaker, Dylan. In fact, I think Dylan's on all 3, but we'll start off with the first one.
Now it's on. Oh, there's light. Good afternoon. My name's Dylan with Project Management and Engineering. The item before you is the notice of completion for well 4-3 in the pipeline project. This project involved constructing and equipping the newly drilled well 4-3 and installing approximately 2,800 feet of 12-inch water pipeline, connecting to the existing well 14 on Olson Avenue and linking the water distribution system at Pratt Metheny Track on South I Street. On May 4th, 2023, the board awarded a contract to WM Lyles of Fresno for $5,497,222. The total construction contract was $5,213,345.50. All work required by WM Lyles has now been completed in accordance with the approved plans and specifications. The contractor has also provided a necessary maintenance bond equal to 10% of the final contract amount. It is important to note that the city also received a state grant to cover the cost of this project's construction. To date, the city's received $5,259,714, and I will continue to seek reimbursement for design costs and construction management. Staff recommends the board accept the contract with WM Lyles for work on WT 0040, well 4-3, and the pipeline as complete. Authorize the city engineer to sign the notice of completion and direct the city clerk to file the NOC with the city or the Tulare County Recorder's Office. If you have any questions, I can
Thank you.
try and answer.
Do we have any questions for Dylan?
I don't know really if this is a question for you or for Trish, but on the alternative actions on the second page, it does mention, it says if it's denied, it will prevent the city from releasing payments of the retention amount of $130,000 to the contractor and prevent the city from filing a notice of completion with the county. What does that entail? Can you speak to that?
So with all projects, we hold a 5% retention
Got it.
throughout the course of the project to ensure that the contractor gets the work done. If not, we have a portion set aside. We haven't spent all the money and we can finish the work. So we don't release that money until 30 days after the notice of completion is filed.
Got it.
What it also does is it protects the city if they have any subcontractors or any vendors that have provided materials that they have not paid. That is their opportunity to say, hey, wait a minute, you need to hold that money because they still owe me X amount. So they send us all like preliminary notices when they are supplying parts, equipment, or work to the project. And so we hold on to those preliminary notices. So that 30 days gives them the opportunity to say, wait a minute, we haven't been paid. You need to hold on to that money because they owe us some of it. So
Okay.
knock on wood, I've never been in that situation where we've actually had someone come back and say they haven't paid us. They usually deal with it. But that's kind of what the 30 days is for. And then as Dylan noted, we do hold a maintenance bond for 1 year. So that's also required before we'll file this notice of completion. So if we have any issues with this, any of their work over the next year, we have that maintenance bond. So that gets them back to fix it. So it's
Got
like
it.
your warranty.
Okay.
And we have used the maintenance bonds before. I've used it at the treatment plant, like, hey, you need to come back and do this, or I'm going to pull that bond. And they don't want you to pull that bond because it raises the cost for their future bonds and it hurts their ability to do projects down the road. So
Very
the
good.
maintenance bond is a really good tool. So we make sure we have all those things tied up before we file that notice of completion, because once we file that notice of completion, that clock starts with all the maintenance and we lose some of our leverage with the contractor. But it also ensures that everybody gets paid or should get paid.
All right.
Thank you, Tricia. That was really helpful.
Very good question.
Any other questions? Well, do I have a motion to approve?
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve item 6.1. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Denied, motion approved. So Dylan, 6.2.
Got it.
You're up.
So this item 6.2 is another notice of completion for well 50, WT 0056, well 50 drilling portion of the project. So brief synopsis, capital improvement project, WT 0056 developed a new water well 50. Well 50 is a replacement for well 1. The drilling portion involved drilling a new water well at a depth of 610 feet. This well will provide water and facilitate local development. On April 3rd, 2025, the board awarded a $589,300 contract to South Valley Companies of Bakersfield. The total construction cost was $623,614.23. All work required by South Valley Companies has been completed in accordance with the approved plans and specifications. And the contractor has also provided the required maintenance bond and equal to 10% of the final contract amount. Again, staff recommends the board accept the contract with South Valley Companies for the work on WT 0056 well drilling as complete. Authorize the city engineer to sign the notice of completion and direct city clerk to file the NOC with the Tulare County Recorder's Office.
Thank you.
Questions?
Do we have any questions? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve item 6.2?
Yeah, I'll make the motion to approve.
I'll second.
We have a first and a second to approve item 6.2. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion approved. All right, Dylan, 6.3.
All right, so 6.3 is the second half of the one you just approved for notice of completion. This is the equipping phase for WT 0056, equipping municipal water well 50. Like I stated previously, on April 3rd, 2025, the board approved a contract with South Valley Companies to drill a well to replace its existing one. The work related to drilling phase has been completed and the city is prepared to begin the equipping phase. Request for bids for equipping was first advertised on October 14th, 2025. Then on November 20th, 2025, 4 bids were opened with costs ranging from $3,372,133 to $4,619,200. The bids were evaluated and determined to be responsive to the requirements and instructions contained in the bid documents. Unified Field Services of Bakersfield submitted the lowest bid. In addition to the construction contract, we require support for inspections, testing, surveying, and labor compliance. I've reached out to consultants through our on-call agreements for services in all these disciplines. Four Creeks of Visalia provided a proposal for CM and inspection services for $551,420. Curzan of Clovis provided a proposal for material testing for $35,535. Four Creeks also provided a proposal for construction surveying for $41,350. Next Level Compliance of Galt, California provided a proposal for the labor compliance monitoring for $28,576. The engineer's estimate for construction was $5 million, and although bids were lower than the estimate, budget revisions are needed to finish the project. Initially, this project had a budget of $2,585,200, but in order to complete it, an additional appropriation of $3,048,340 is required from Fund 407 Water CIP. Staff recommends the board authorize the city manager to sign contracts related to project WT 0056, equipping of municipal water well 50, and authorize the city manager or their designee to approve contract change orders in the amount not to exceed 10% of the contract amount of each contract amount and approve the revised budget. That's all.
Thank you. Does the board have any questions?
Yeah, I just have a couple. The Unified Field Service Corp.
Mhm.
I'm not that familiar with them. Do they?
Contractor?
Yeah, it says, construction contract.
Mhm.
Unified Field Services Corporation. That's the one we have on here it's page 107, right? Is that the beginning of their bid? Well, it's page 107.
Yes, that's their breakdown of all their bids, the bid schedule. That's the
Okay.
bid they submitted and what we opened.
Have we used them a lot,
We have.
Unified? Yeah, because I don't remember ever seeing them on past.
This is the first time, but after I, read their comps, they're more than well equipped to do this project.
Where are they from?
Bakersfield.
Bakersfield, okay. That was it for me.
Any other questions? Seeing none, do we have a motion for item 6.3?
So moved. Second.
We have a first and a second for item 6.3. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dylan.
Thank you, guys.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have items of interest.
We do. First, I just want to say thank you to Dylan. We put all those items on general business so the board can hear them, but we really are ramping up with projects. So you will start to see Dylan more. And then I'm also going to introduce Jan Bowen. He's in the audience by Dylan. Jan is our new Assistant Public Works Director. So he has taken Tim Doyle's position. Jan actually just moved over to us from the engineering department. So he has worked for the city for about 9 years in our engineering department under Michael Miller. And so Jan has worked very closely with Tim over the years as far as projects, new development, city standards. And so Really, I'm kind of the business side of Public Works and I can help make the decisions, but the technical is not my strongest. And so, you know, when looking for a replacement for Tim, as you know, he was very technical, the water and sewer, storm drain, you know, he had that just lifelong experience. And so, really, when we looked to fill Tim's position, we were looking for the technical, and Jan is just ideal. I'm going to let him introduce himself and give his background, but he starts with us effectively December 15th, but he's kind of going back and forth between us and engineering right now. But anyway, here's Jan.
It's on.
How you doing?
What's that? Sorry. Good afternoon, everybody.
Go ahead.
Good afternoon, everybody. Again, Tricia, my name is Jan Bowen. I come from the engineering department here at the city. Background is I am a licensed civil engineer. I hold a degree in mechanical and civil engineering. My first 10 years of my career, I worked for Probst and Pritchard, just doing general design, municipal design engineering. And then the last 10 years or so, I've been working more in the development service side at Porterville for a year, and then City of Tulare for the last 9 years.
Thank you.
So any questions or?
We'll be probably seeing more of you.
Yes, definitely. Look forward to working with all of you.
Okay, thank you.
He's going to have an item on the next agenda, just FYI. Yeah, are these, yeah,
Yeah, it's biased.
yeah. Just one more thing, we will have a meeting on December 18th. We've already got a few agenda items for the board. The first meeting in January is January 1st. We can kick off the new year if you want. If not, we are looking to cancel that meeting. So we may not see you until January 15th.
I
but we
agree
will.
with you.
You don't want to come back from the coast early?
I'll be here. I'm doing it for you, all of you.
Yes, so we will have a meeting December 18th and more than likely cancel the January 1st. And then I'm not going to steal Blake's thunder and I'm going to let him make the other big announcement that we have.
All right. Melanie, you have anything? Renee? Brian? I have nothing.
She queued me up. I've got something. Yeah.
All right, there we
So
go.
on the second, mid Cahuilla, greater Cahuilla and eastern Cahuilla. So the Cahuilla Basin went to Sacramento to our hearing to see if we were going to go into probation with, into the state's purview versus the Department of Water Resources, which that's where we want to be, Department of Water Resources. And they recommended that we not go to probation. So our plan was accepted. I watched from Zoom and they were all complimentary of the process of our team. You know, after 2 attempts, they rejected it twice. That third time worked, and it's due to the hard work of staff. And we got a great team, and we were one of the few in this area that actually made it. And we are basically in the epicenter of the problem. So if anybody was kind of expected to not make it, it was going to be us and our surrounding areas, and we're kind of the only ones that have really made it out. And so I applaud the staff and the teams, and I truly believe, judging from their comments and they had a lot of good things to say about our managers. It was due to the way it was set up, with a good team, including all stakeholders, having all the different committees below it, and nobody was ignored or not listened to. Everybody was brought to the table and accepted for how do we manage our groundwater. And so, it's a big round of applause for all of those folks, because that was a big feat, and we had a big target on our back, and we were able to avoid some of the tougher discussions that a lot of places are having around us. So that's the big announcement.
Thank you. Thomas? You have anything?
Nothing.
Legal? Nothing? Well, seeing that we're done, I will adjourn the meeting at 4:20 PM. And you guys can all go and see the Christmas